Hello again, once more. Welcome back to Leopard Street. Welcome back to the cellar of mild frustration, occasional incorrect electronic circuits, and even one or two trains that run sometimes. Last video, this board M, gained its board controller. It gained a relay module to turn this platform 1, there will eventually be a platform, into my DCC programming track. This replaces the siding that sits, you come around here, under here, which used to be my DCC programming track, but now isn't. That's all been taken out and is just siding. Also, I found out it doesn't work, or rather it does work, but not the way I need it to. There's a fault. So what we're going to do in this one, we're going to have a look at what I got wrong. As in the interest of full disclosure here, what I got wrong, it is entirely my own fault. We're going to look at what I need to do to fix it. I'm going to fix it. Then I'm going to test it and we're going to run some trains. This one's going to have more train running towards the end. So, this is Leopard Street. Stick around. I'm going to go to the desk. Okay, here we are. Now, this is the circuit we had in the last episode. This is what I built. That's not installed. Didn't fit that in the end. But it doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because of what sits over here. Over here, I have a PCF 8575, which looks like one of them. It's a 16-bit I/O port. Now, it has a quirk. Now, I knew about this, but I forgot about it. This thing, if you try and do this, so put a little resistor and put an LED on it to ground, it can light that, but very, very dimly. There's very, very little current will come out of that. So what you have to do is do it this way round. And you put a positive voltage there, have a resistor, and you have your LED here. So instead of the current coming out this way, the current flows this way. That way works. I was trying to drive a relay this way, and the amount of current I was putting out was too low to trigger the transistor enough. It will trigger it. This does amplify it, but not enough to fire the relay. So what I need to do is connect this to this and invert the signal. And to do that, I have this little beastie. That is a 4N35. Now what this is, I'll just draw it up here because I might as well. It's got 6 pins. 4N35. This is called an opto-isolator. And what you've got inside it is, I've drawn that a bit wrong, a phototransistor. There is a base connection there. So you've got base, collector, emitter. You don't need to connect the base. We're not going to be using that. And this side, you've got an LED. And it's inside the thing. You can't see it. They're usually infrared. And that's your positive and that's your negative terminal. So the LED comes on. It triggers the phototransistor. This is basically the same thing I've got where I'm using my reversing loops, where I've got a photo interrupter that I've basically built. Infrared LED one side, photo sensor the other side, and it works. So what I'm going to have to do is wire this into over here. Now, as I designed this, if I put 5 volts on that, this will work. If I put 3.3 volts on it, it works as well. But yeah, so what I'm going to be doing is putting my photo interrupter over here, like so. That is going to go to there. That is going to go to there. So that now can provide voltage to that. And then over here, I've got my little LED. and I'm going to put a resistor there, and that is going to go to plus 3.3 volts, and that matters as well. And then that is going to connect to my PCF 8575. And what this means is if this is at a high logic level, which will be 3.3 volts, there's no current flow. So that LED is off, that is off, the relay is off at a high level. If I take that low, so that goes to ground, current flows, that lights, that triggers, just put a little symbol on there, that triggers that triggers the relay. So this now becomes active low. And this, I don't have one to hand, is basically how the standard Arduino relay modules work. So what I need is one of them. I need another 1K resistor. I've got plenty of those. And I need to take the board off the bottom of the layout. So I'm going to go and do that. I'll be back in a sec. Yeah, apologies for this. This is now editing me. As you can probably tell from this video, I managed to record most of this with the camera pointing in slightly the wrong direction. So yeah, if the camera had been pointing directly at the yellow dot, you'd probably not see most of this. As it is, you can't. All I'm doing here is I'm installing the 4N35 opto-isolator and a couple of other bits and pieces. So because you can't see much of this, I've sped it up. Sorry about that. Okay, we're in testing mode. So you can see down here, this is the little LED. Watch that. I should be able to change that. This is it's a tad awkward getting around this when it's here, but it's the only way I can get it and get the lead plugged in. So what I need to do is tell that to go into programming mode, which is there. Publish that. I can hear a relay click, and that little light is now on. So I can put it back into main mode. Relay click again, little light goes off. So it's working. I'm now switching the relay. So what I'm going to do is switch the layout off, unplug that. Yeah. Relocate your good selves over there. I'm going to put this board back in, which actually isn't that hard to do. This one's relatively straightforward. Some of the others are a little bit harder than this because they're a bit heavier. This one's not actually too bad. So out that way, to clear it past everything over here. It doesn't normally come out this side of the layout. I'd normally take these out the other side. So that goes into there, like so. That, and then fairly simply slides in there. Plug that back in. Right, so I'm just going to clear some stuff, then we're going to come back and we're going to test it. Okay, we're back in, we're powered up. I have a willing victim. I have a victim. Yeah, my K3. So just going to run back and forth a little bit. Then I'm going to come onto the programming track and we're going to test it. So where are we? We're on that track. The points are set for going dead ahead. So we will go dead ahead. I'll come back onto, I don't know. Check, we're going to come back down onto this road, onto this board, and we'll see if this works. Should do, he said. So here we come. Back down here, over the station throat, over the double slip. Still rather impressed with those and how they work. So it should work rolling onto here without any problems. And indeed it does. So I'm going to try one of the other roads because, frankly, while I'm here, why not? And we'll go over there. And I'm going to set that. And we'll come in on one of the suburban platforms, or what will eventually be one of the suburban platforms. And again, we'll just make sure the tracks work. I'm just making sure all the feeds are correct. I've done some polarity testing with a multimeter, but there's no substitute for actually running a train over something to see whether it works or not. Over there. Swap a couple of points. And back we go onto that platform. Right, now we're going to come out onto platform 1. I'm then going to swap into programming mode and we're going to see if it works. I'm hoping it does because, as I say, I've got a lovely new little locomotive that I want to play with. I have not even taken out the box yet. So here we go. Back down here over the other double slip. And that's my programming track in normal mode. As the LED is green, unlit. So what I need to do, set that into programming mode, which at the moment is a little bit awkward. I'm going to do it with MQTT, so it'll be on the control panel eventually. So we have an illuminated LED. So what I want to do now is go to Panel Pro, Tools, Roster. I think I can do it from here. Roster, I want my K3. In fact, on programming track, I'm going to select something else. I'm going to go Identify. And we'll see whether it works. It has identified the K3. So if I now go Program, Basic. Okay, bring it over here so you can see what's going on a little bit better. So the screen is all in yellow because it this is the store thing. So what I'm going to do is read the full sheet, which is now red. So that means the programming track works. Working as a programming track. I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is OK that. Close that. Save and close. Close the programmer because I don't need it anymore. Put that back into main mode. Again, the little light goes out and I can see we're back here. I'm going to roll her back over there. I'm going to bring another train or two back up onto the station area because I can. So I just come over here. Send the K3 back. I'm going to go back to where those wagons. No, I'm going to put on the coaling road. The reason I'm going to put on the coaling road is because I don't really want locos on this bit of track if I can avoid it at the moment. As I mentioned, I am eventually going to put like a little wall along here, but a few people go, "Oh, that sounds a good idea." It's not going to be much. I mean, it's not going to be much higher than probably that. Its purpose is if something does derail, there's a catcher. So slow in there. Right, now, who have we got? I have, on the outer line, I have got Cheshire sitting over there. I'm going to bring her back in onto one of these. So, release into this here. D49 Cheshire. She needs to go in reverse. And she's going to go fast enough. I hope she doesn't stall. And all the point work is set for the appropriate route. So she's going to come in onto this line over here. Now I'm going to do another video which is going to be a full-on running session. This is just really making sure the new bits of nonsense I've got actually work. But I can clear over there, or at least clear over there a little bit. Have to be careful here. The reason I have to be careful is the end board isn't fitted at the moment because I've got some more work to do on that. And actually, spin round. I'm going to fit this bit. The reason for fitting it is it's got the ends of the tracks on it, which might actually prove a useful thing to have at the moment. So that on there, that on there. Comes down here, a load of stuff falls over. There we go there. What that means is I can actually back Cheshire up a little bit more, so I will do. And it gets her clear of the point work at this end. There we go. So that is Cheshire done. Now, next up is going to be the G5. Now, she's on a different road. But it's all right because she's going to come in on a different road. I'm going to bring her in onto this one. So over here, release, select G5 black, because she is over there at the head of the queue, facing the right way on the arrivals line. So sound on. Well, that worked. She seems happy enough. So here we come. Whistling nicely. Oh, I'm going to try another sound effect. Incidentally, if you can hear the sound in the background, this is my 3D printer running away. Not doing anything remotely railway related, it's printing a spider, if that makes sense. So here we come round here. Slow down a little as we come in. And then we'll have a little flange squeal as she goes over some of the point work, because frankly, why not? And she pulls in onto what will eventually be platform 4. So that's that. And next up is going to be the Flying Scotsman coming in on this road. I'm trying to clear over there off. So what I need to do is reset the route. Scotsman can come in on the arrival line. Release A1 Flying Scotsman. And here she comes thundering around. Come around over there. A bit of train movement. Yeah. Like I say, I'm going to do a proper running session, and that will involve cameras in different positions so we can actually see some trains. But this is nice after I've had the layout in bits to get these back up here. Now I do have a slight problem here, and that's all the trains I can run into the station. I've got Bucky over there. Oh, mind you, Bucky's on the other line, so Bucky can be brought in on... I'll put Bucky on the departure road because I can. And she's going to have to come in a little bit more interestingly because she's going to be in reverse. Sound on over there, just make sure she's awake. Bucky, you awake? I'll take that as a yes. But she's going to have to come up a little bit more slowly because she's pushing a freight train. Pushing a freight train that involves dapole wagons with other wagons in front of them. So we shall see how this goes. Apologies for not zooming in. This particular camera setting I can't zoom in on. Or if I can, I don't know how to do it. So we shall see whether these wagons make it in. Place your bets. Will the rake of dapple wagons make it to the station without derailing? I'm just going to put you back down there because otherwise this is going to wobble all over the place. They're doing it all right so far. This isn't pure dapple wagons. I've got some 3-plank LNER wagons. These are Bachmann. There is a 5-plank, which is Oxford Rail. The container wagon, I've got no idea who that's by, actually. And then 6 dapple vans and a Bachmann brake van. And headed up, obviously, at the back by the beautiful little Acura scale J69 buck jumper. He's going to come rumbling in now. One thing to note, I have not put the platform 6 road or the freight siding back in. And I'm not going to be. Not just yet, anyway. Here we go. Enjoying yourself? Good. That's what we like to hear. Now, there is a partial problem here, though. So I'm going to go sound off. Release. Scotsman's going to get moved because I've still got the B12. Now, the only road she can run into is this one. And there's a train in the way. So what I'm going to do... Scotsman's going to do something she doesn't normally do. She's going to do some shunting. So she's going to go backwards. Not too fast. And basically I'm going to bring her in onto platform 1 and the programming line. Because I can. So I'll see how they go. Off we go. And then I should be able to just change that point down there. Forwards. And bring her straight in. I can move my arm out of the way. Now, normally, I wouldn't have a train come in on this line. Basically, this is what it's for. As you can see, they can't run directly into this road. Let's come down here and stop. Having hit the buffers because, true to form, I'm driving a train using a mouse, which is down here. Yeah, this is my train controller currently is a mouse, which is not ideal. I need to get the knob box working again. Right, so now we have finally going to bring up the B12, who hopefully will start, and she's going to come in onto the arrivals line. Oh, she's moving. She's going at a fair click, because if she goes at a fair click, she keeps running. I'll slow her down when she gets round here a bit more. Oh. Stop. I didn't realise she was on that track. And she's decided now she doesn't want to start again. Off you go. Back you go. Yes. Slight signalling error there. I thought she was on the other track, but she's not. So, in you come. Come on. A little nudge. I can bring her in on the appropriate track. Woo! Right. So, that is that side of the layout clear. The reversing loops are not currently fitted. They're over there. I need to get those back in. Now, if we look back this way, we have a fairly populated station. Now, like I say, platform 6 is not in. I'm not going to be fitting those back 2 lines again for a little while. Basically, I've stuck with a track that is stuck down. What I need to do is think a little bit about what's coming next. Now, the next video is that brown box, because I'm going to be doing an unboxing on a general look at, then a chipping, and then a running in, and then a running again of my new A1. That's going to form part of a sort of a little bit of a running video. Layout work, I need to get the board controller for this end board done. Now, to do that, if we come down here, the first thing I need to do is fit power feeds to these 4 tracks, which don't currently have them. Now, to do that, I need to lift each rail in turn, or each track in turn. So I'll lift that one, solder some droppers, glue it back down. When the glue's dried, lift that one. So that's going to be tedious work. I'm not going to film that. It's going to be fairly repetitive, and I'm just going to do it in the background. When all 3 of those are, all 4 of those are done, it'd help if I could count. I'll put the controller in over there with all of its gubbins. I'm going to be ordering at some point the DTC8 block detection boards for the station, and I'm not quite sure where I'm going to start. That's coming up. You've seen me do block detection, so I'll probably just skip over those a little bit. But basically, I've got 4 more boards to do that too, which is that little end stub board. It's going to get a DTC8 because there's going to be 2 more tracks going down there. Before I put any of these rails in, I want the block detection boards in. I want everything I need in to control the joints. So the next piece of track is the crossover down there. Then I can put platform 6 in, because that feeds onto the crossover. To do the crossover, I need to put 2 points down. To put points down, this board can drive points, that board can't. Well, this board can't at the moment. It will be able to when I put the servo controller in, when that turns up. That'll be the next piece of track I'm doing. I'm going to intersperse this with lots of running. Obviously, a crossover down there is basically neither use nor ornament on its own. It's a left-hand crossover. It just gives me somewhere to put another logo, basically. Go figure. But I need that in because it'll give me this platform road. I will then work out. I've not designed, except in sort of sketch, what the goods yard looks like. The goods yard is this road that comes off this point here. There's going to be points and sidings going that way. I've not designed it yet. I need to do that. Obviously, I've got the turntable to fix. I've got loads of little buildings and kits to do. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break from track laying. And what we're going to do is some operating a layout. Some fiddling. Kelly, thank you for the suggestion on it. I was thinking, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. Let's just play trains for a bit. Let's watch them run. Let's enjoy it. So that's all coming up. Anyway, that has been this one. This should have been something else, because frankly, this should have worked the first time. If I hadn't been such a half-wit and got the circuit wrong, it would have done. But now it wits in, now it works. Now I'm happy. The only thing I've got left to do, which I'm going to do before I forget, is fit a tie wrap, because now this works. Tie wrap, and I need the cutters. And we'll come down here, we'll have a little look. This is the very last thing I'm doing in this video. Yeah, we'll find somewhere to put you. Go there. Excuse this is the other camera mount I've got. But basically what I need to do is tie wrap around these cables here, just to neaten it up a bit, really. So do that, do that, do that. Done. Right. that's it for this video. Just a very quick look at a 3D printer printing a spider. Yeah, anyway, well, my other half likes spiders. She always wanted a pet spider, and I've always said no, because as far as I'm concerned, spiders are something you stand on. So she's getting spiders off that thing. Anyway, I'll catch you all in the next one, and hopefully we're going to be, like I say, looking at the new A1, which I'm quite looking forward to. So that will be the next video. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.